my man got too familiar, and I ended up having to whip his ass, man, because, he would step across the line. Habitually, he's a habitual line stepper.
All right, in 3.
Hey Google, there we go.
Really?
You didn't say 1.
2, 1. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the HLS podcast, also known as Radical Teddy and Friends, To That Point, Late to the Party, Habitual Line Steppers, Her Latest Seducer,
Hi, Jesus.
On the Roll Alliance.
I'm Scrotawola.
And I'm Electric Thunder. Yo.
Hey, we have a special guest today. Give it up for BronxNotorious.
Hey.
DJ Pendel.
This is a special episode because we've been talking about getting a guest on here for quite some time. And we got our first guest. Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves, homie?
My name is Edgar, BronxNotorious, and I'm glad to be here.
How do you know these fellas?
Let's see, how do we know each other? We were forced into being friends through mutual girlfriends. I guess, right? They were girlfriends. Yeah, they were girlfriends.
So many men make friends.
And it was like instant love between Brantley and I and Jason and I. So it was like, oh, look at you, you're a nerd. I'm a geek. Let's do this.
That's what's up.
Let's go game together.
Yeah. So as we've mentioned it a couple of times, that we are actually part of a different gaming group. And I met Bronx through that gaming group. We've played games a couple of times, but he's been otherwise preoccupied. So he hasn't been gaming, but hopefully that's going to change now. We're glad to have you. Glad to have you here, bro.
I think he does game. I think he just games at a different time than we game.
Yeah, no, I'm saying not game with us.
Yeah.
I game sporadically. It's one of those, if I got time, if it's a sunny day, I'm outside. I like being outside. But if it's a rainy day and the kids are not here, I'll definitely get on it and play some games. But I'm like basic Grand Theft Auto, Call of Duty, Zombies. I download the games that you guys play, and then you guys are never on when I'm on.
He deeply feels all of those memes where it's like, hey, get this game, we're gonna play it forever. And then
I think one of the hardest things is that because I'm a PC gamer, I don't see when you sign on to PlayStation Network. So I don't know that you're on unless you're on. So there's no central meeting ground except for the WhatsApp group. And I've made it very clear on this podcast how I deal with WhatsApp. Our homie Ray, he just started playing, and I have to hit him up and say, are you playing now? And a lot of times when you just gonna pop in for a game or two, we just see who's online and play, but we can't really see like that if you're on like PlayStation. So I think Discord's a solution, but we gotta wait for you guys to like come to the dark side.
Meh. We might. We make no promises.
All right, what we talking about today? What we getting into?
All right, today we're going to talk about happiness and what does it really mean to be happy, right? Is it just a moment? Is it a mood? Is it a myth we've been sold? So I think tonight we're going to dive headfirst into one of the most misunderstood feelings of all, happiness.
Who wants to kick this thing off?
Part of what was going on was I was moving some stuff out of Mom's apartment. And me and Electric got to talking, and I told him like, hey man, I one day just had an epiphany that I realized how close I am to happiness and how attainable it is. And so it made me ask him the question like, look, if you were a billionaire, how much would your happiness cost? And that is, after you spend whatever you're going to spend, or like splurge, buy something, you got the house, you vacation, you go everywhere you want to go, you still have hundreds of millions of dollars left over just day in, day out to live as an extremely wealthy individual. You've given to whatever charities you're going to give to, and you still have a ton of money over. How much does your happiness cost day in, day out? Because it's not every day you're going to fly to Dubai or something like that. Sometimes it's just Thursday. And to that point, if you really add it up, how much are you spending on an average day? And then if you took that out and extrapolated it out across a whole year, how much does your happiness really cost? So I never actually heard Electric's answer, so I would like to pose it to him first.
The fuck? Did you understand that question?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, I didn't, but go ahead. Maybe your answer can make me understand it better.
How much would happiness cost?
Yeah, how much your happiness cost?
What's the dollar amount?
Yeah, day in, day out.
But okay, go ahead.
I can say that I would leave it to a dollar amount where I can live comfortably, and I do like to dress nice and look good, have a nice car, have a beautiful home. But it wouldn't be as much as people would think it would be. If I could have 100,000 after taxes cash a year, I would be more than comfortable. If I could have $1 million a year, that would be great. And if I had $1 billion, way better, because now I would get to the point where I can not even at $1 billion, but if I had $1 billion, I would definitely be able to help out a lot of people that I love and people that I don't even know. And and I'm not talking about in the sense of like creating a charity and all that stuff. I have my personal ideas about charities, and I'd rather directly impact people's lives positively and be able to help them out that way. But I also realize that a monetary amount won't provide happiness. I think what it does is that it helps provide what you need in life, the basic necessities plus extras. And I personally realized this in my own life, where one year I'm basically homeless, living at friends' houses, and then the next year I got a job that paid me more than I ever made, and my life changed drastically. So I understand how money can, make you feel better. And it's not just the money, it's the security of knowing that your bills are paid on time. You got a roof over your head. You can feed yourself. You can dress yourself. And then you have a little bit of extra money to be able to do the things that you want to do. Take yourself out to dinner or go to a movie and stuff. But overall, I think the biggest thing to make, at least for me, happy is my community, friendships. And one that really hit me recently within the past few months is like family and whoever you choose to live your life with. That's my perspective on that right now. And I'm pretty sure we could dive deeper into this the further along we go into the episode. But as far as a money amount, I would say right now, fuck it, $600 million. I'll say that. So that way I could just give a lot of it away.
Yeah, but after you give a lot of it away, how much do you need? I think you said it was like $100K a year.
Yeah, $100K, I'll be more than good. That's just me wanting more just to have more. But realistically, I think after taxes, 60,000, and I can live happily. Actually, no, let's bump that. 100K is good.
Yeah. So one thing that I heard that you said was peace of mind was a pillar of your happiness, aside from community. I think you're saying the 100K gives you a peace of mind. Security is how you framed it, but I don't want anybody to get confused thinking like he needs a security system, but it's no peace of mind.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Peace of mind. And I got a cold, everybody, in case you're wondering why I sound a little bit different today. I have a flu or a cold. I don't know what this is, but I feel horrible.
And we hope
you are not happy right now.
Yeah. Why don't we let our guest weigh in, see if they have a take.
One of my favorite quotes is Aristotle is like, happiness is up to us. And I definitely, I live by that. And the reason why you don't see me online and playing video games is because I'm always doing what makes me happy, and that's be with my wife and my kids and stuff like that. And I think a lot what Jason said, I get what he's saying. We do the things that make us happy. And you know what? For a person that's been dealing with a lot of mental health issues and depression and stuff like that, it really helps to just keep things simple sometimes. And just, I think for me is being virtual, having good virtuals and stuff like that, and being a good dad, being a good person, and giving to the world, and trying not to take from the world. That makes me feel good, makes me happy, being a good person, that I'm bringing change to somebody, being somebody's miracle.
There's something that you said there that I agree with a lot, and I hold the same value. And it's like you said, not to take from the world. I like that sentiment. I think a lot of people are out to get what they can get, and just to be a kind of person that doesn't want to take. For me, it shows a different kind of person. Just recently, Rebel, he ended up giving me a gift, and in a sense, I felt horrible about it, but also I felt good about it because I'm not used to getting gifts. But like him giving me the gift, I'm like, yo, this is too big of a gift. It's expensive. He gave me one of these robo vacuums, and I'm like, bro, like this is too much. And he's like, all right, just keep it. And I'm like, all right, cool, thank you, and thank you, Rebel. I really appreciate it. But
see, that's the world, man. That's the world we paying you for being a good person. It's Rebel.
Literally my thoughts exactly.
No, you did something for Rebel, probably. I don't know what happened. And the world repaid you. Sometimes that's the miracle, being somebody else's miracle sometimes. I don't know what's your gamer tag, so I'm just gonna say Jason sent me a random Boricua Spider-Man figure. And you don't understand, I was like one of the hardest weeks of work that I was going through, and it just popped up out of nowhere, and I was like, man, I really needed something like this.
I'm glad it made your week, man.
Hey,
I'm glad I chose to do something like that, and it helped you out. And that was really recent. That was probably like a month ago. I did that.
Yeah.
And look at the world repairing you.
Yeah.
Look at God.
God has it done.
The Bible says, give and it shall be given unto you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. I come from a line of pastors. It's in me. I can do it anytime.
So, Scorda, what's yours, man?
So,
what's your number for happiness? What's your
dollar amount? I don't know. I do know that it doesn't require a lot. So I guess for me, I don't want to like always be rephrasing the question and stuff like that, but it's difficult because I don't understand the question, because happiness is something that to me doesn't exist. I think happiness is more of like how far away you are from misery, right? And at a certain point, because the thing is like, there's a cap on happiness. I think there's a point where you can't get any more happy. And I think that's like when you're devoid of all misery or suffering or whatever, because every one of us says that we're happy right now, but like we could be happier and we're not near that point. So like, where do I draw that line? I guess I have to draw that line like from anything less than this, and I won't be happy, right? If you take $10,000 out of our collective incomes right now, would we not be happy? We wouldn't be happy that it's gone, but would that make us not happy, like happy people, like we're not happy anymore? So I have to look at it like that. And if I had to draw the line, basically, if I had this money and then if I had $1 wherever I would be happy and $1 less and I wouldn't be happy, I don't know. That number's pretty low. Number's like insanely low. I think I don't know. I think that it's probably $30,000. But the thing is, there's things that go along with that. If you're talking about, I'm sure that like my marriage would take a hit or something would happen if I'm not able to contribute indefinitely the way that we would need to contribute, or we'd have to like have forced life changes to accommodate that. But if we're looking at it just purely me and not incorporating all the responsible stuff like Brent said, dude, like $40,000, not even a lot. I would definitely want more. I would definitely be struggling or whatever, but I'd still be happy. I wouldn't be miserable. I wouldn't be unhappy.
I don't think a number like $40,000 would support your mortgage, car payment, insurance, food.
No, it wouldn't. Like I said, programs. Like Brent said, if we took care of all, like you took care of all the responsible stuff, I'd want enough to support my lifestyle right now. If I had literally exact amount to support my lifestyle right now, then I'd be like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
You're always going to want more, but that doesn't mean that you're unhappy right now. So what we know, when we initially talked about this, I looked at this completely different. I thought it was if you have $1 skillion, right? and then you buy everyone a house that you know, and everything's taken care of. What do you do in the morning? You've traveled everywhere already, but what do you do in the morning? And the thing that you do after all of the responsible and the splurging stuff is done, that's what makes you happy. Right. And for me, that's like spending time with my wife and my kids and my friends and like just getting different experiences on earth. Like I would do what I'm doing right now, learning new things online and like creating stuff, like creating art or creating things. That's what makes me happy. And I don't need $200,000 to do that. As long as I'm doing that, I could find a way to be happy in whatever I'm doing. So I guess that's my answer.
Cool. The reason I posed the question that way is because I was curious. Each of you said something where, like, for instance, your monetary amount is less than you thought or less than surprisingly low. Being with family, being a good person, not taking from the world, giving, and the absence of misery or pain, a very epicureal definition of like how happiness is to you, right? So I thus pose the question back to each of you. Are you happy? And would you say that you're happy? Even if not necessarily now because you're fighting a fever, generally.
Oh, man. This same exact question was asked to me a few years ago by my son's grandmother. So his mother's mother asked me this question one day, and it rocked me when she asked me it. I remember I went to pick up my son one day, and like she always talks to me. We always have small conversation. And then she goes, "Hey, can I ask you something?" And she goes, "Are you happy?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm happy." And I was like, why did she ask me that? It really rocked me. And more than likely, I probably wasn't happy. I just had too much going on. But I was thinking to myself, I'm like, am I really showing that like I'm unhappy at the moment? Am I happy now? Not at all. I'm going through a transition in my life right now where I'm no longer with my best friend and I no longer have someone that I considered as a daughter in my life. So it's a big thing for me. And for once in my life, I felt like I really had a family. And now I no longer have that again. So I'm just adjusting at this point. And yeah, and eventually I'll get back to the way I used to feel about everything and just not feel anything again. So at this point, I'm not happy. I'll just chase small little dopamine hits to make me happy again. So
you're in the mourning phase.
Yeah, I guess.
Not in that relationship anymore, and it takes time.
Yep.
I think the important thing is to note that you got to try to make that a temporary state.
Yeah, I constantly tell myself I'll get over this. And I'm glad that this time around I'm not. I guess at my age, the maturity finally settled in and I don't handle things in the way that I once did. Like I'm not resorting to drinking or using drugs or partying really hard. So I'm glad I'm not doing anything that can be destructive to my health, my mental health, or even my career. I think I'm handling this pretty positively. But one thing that is making me happy is that I have a good community around me. And recently it was my birthday, and thank you, Rebel and Uchenna. You guys showed me a great time for my birthday. Had a lot of people there, and it was great. It reminded
happy birthday.
Thank you. It reminded me of old times with Edgar and his wife. And his wife and I are really good friends also. And they would do these great get-togethers, and all of our friends would show up, and we just have such a great time. And I always felt very happy during those times. And with these guys, with Rebel and Scrota, I felt the same way. So it was like reminiscent of how it was back in New York.
Yeah, BronxNotorious, you can move down here. Really set this thing over the edge.
Nah, I'm good. I'm a New York lifer, bro. For sure.
Hey, just have him come and visit with his girl.
Exactly.
and look at the model houses.
Yep.
You guys are too into the country, man. It's like no ocean. I'm good.
Wait, what time? I was at the ocean. Yeah, I was at the ocean last weekend.
Gulf of Mexico right there. Yeah, right. It's right there.
Gulf of America.
Like an hour.
I refuse.
Like 40 minutes.
Yeah. You haven't gone.
Yeah. We're closer to it than you are to, like, what is it? Orchard Beach or whatever?
First of all, let's not even talk about New York and these things y'all call beaches. So
I know.
Let's not do that.
Much closer to the water.
y'all Manhattan. That I've been to them New York beaches.
I know. It's one of those things. It's not Puerto Rico.
Nope.
But it's definitely not.
It's not Southern California.
Come on down. You'll see.
I love to visit. I love to travel.
Visit.
I love New York. Man. New York is.
Yeah, I know.
New York is cool.
I actually can't talk. I've never seen the actual beach at Orchard Beach. I've only been in that part where folks can barbecue.
Which is not a bad part. I think the park of Orchard Beach is really cool when, the people are not fucking it up. Ooh, can we curse? I'm sorry. I don't know.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, we can curse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you gotta let me know ahead of time.
Yo, man, there's nothing but just.
Sorry, man. Go ahead, bro.
That was awesome.
Everybody's a DJ at Orchard Beach. Like you can't. Everybody has a big ass turntable with a speaker connected to it, and then like playing music like 2 feet away from each other, which is the worst thing about going there.
It's all I know.
Let's take it back to this. If you had all your responsibilities taken care of and you didn't have to work, like what would you do?
Oh man, I'll be in Puerto Rico for sure.
Doing what?
At the beach, probably. Just maybe a farm. We'll love a farm in Puerto Rico and just.
Elaborate.
Just have some
on this farm.
Yeah,
elaborate.
Nothing crazy. Goats, rabbits. Just have something where I could wake up and there's nobody around me. It's just nothing but like mountains and grass. Yeah, sun, just quietness. I enjoy that part. I know it's not New York, but Puerto Rico.
I know. I am so confused right now because not 3 seconds ago you said you guys are too far in the
country.
New York for life.
What?
Oh man, this is gonna turn into a reel. You know that, right?
What?
I'm a New Yorker by choice, but my
Until
soul.
You get money and get out. Apparently,
yeah. No, my soul is in Puerto Rico.
But how much would that cost, though?
To live out there now, gentrification is messing everything up over there. But I almost bought a house out there a few years ago. I mean, Maria, like after Maria, everybody kept snatching. They started snatching up all the land out there.
Oh.
Yeah, there was like a house, like it was an old school, like an old beat up house too. It was like one of the old wooden ones that you would see in the mountainsides, like in the 1920s. And it was like a 5-minute walk to the beach, and they were selling it for, it was like less than $20,000. And then after Maria came, somebody bought it, and now they tore it down, and now they're gonna build like Airbnbs on top, like a big building on top of it.
Oh,
yeah.
They done recolonized.
Yep.
Wow, double colonization.
To answer the question, I feel like for me, happiness is just having harmony, and just I feel like the world, the force or whatever you want to call it, like God or whatever, like I feel like I'm at one with it right now. Yeah, like I feel like things are going my way, and I feel I keep doing good, and hopefully good things continue to happen, because there was a rough patch a few years ago where I was like, I almost died, and I'm just happy to be alive, basically.
Interesting. So you are happy.
Yeah.
We're gonna come back to that, because that kind of goes into absence of misery, which is what Scrota was talking about. So Scrota, the question now goes to you. Are you happy?
Yeah. I think every once in a while.
Thanks for having me on.
I think I think every once in a while I have to remind myself that. Like right now, there's a lot that I might complain about. And I know y'all know exactly what I'm talking about. I'm in between jobs right now. And I was making a great salary. And now I'm consulting, working for myself, and the salary is nowhere near it where it was before. But I'm also afforded to do some things that I couldn't do while I was working in corporate America. It feels bad, like sometimes, because I can't just, I'm not used to not being able to just go and get the thing that I want. You know what I mean? That level of privilege has been associated with me for a very long time. And it feels very strange to not be able to do that. And so I pout about that and bitch about that every once in a while. But I have to remind myself, like, bro, I have a unique ability and great support that fuck am I complaining about? Still got to focus on making sure that it's still a hustle. It's still stressful and stuff like that to make sure that I'm doing what I need to do to support myself and my family. But happy, yeah, still happy about it. Because like I said, as long as my happiness is not necessarily, it's indirectly associated with money, but it's more directly associated with people and things, to be honest. So I'm happy. I'm good. If I'm gonna tack on sorry, go ahead.
And I was gonna ask you, does your end game for whatever plan you have for what you're doing now, is it worth more than the money?
Yes.
And that's what.
Yeah, I think if I'm gonna tack on the answer to the question that was asked to you, my what I would do if everything was taken care of looks very similar to yours. I'm not retiring in America. That's not happening. I'm gonna go to Nigeria.
Nice.
I'm going to find a place in the city and a place in the country and just live simply where I can have a big studio and enough either resources or funds to just create different types of art projects, products, and then also teach. I want to create like a lab where I just teach people science, engineering, art, and creation stuff. Like that's what I want to give. So if I can do that in a rural setting, in a somewhat urban/rural setting without the pressures and the rat race of America, and still shielded from the wahala of Nigeria, then that's what I'm gonna do. That's what I would do. Let me cook.
Nice.
How about you?
I think.
Are you happy?
My ancestors.
Yeah. Where are you two?
Yeah.
What's up? We got 3.5 Nigerians on this call, probably. Only because, like, my ancestry says I'm 51%.
Wait, who's Nigerian?
I don't know where.
Me. No,
Right.
yeah.
Oh, you're not
9%.
What's up? Hey, you got some in there?
Let me see.
Yeah.
I'm opening
When
up.
the
I
World
don't even
Cup's
know that.
on, he might root for him.
Let me see. I haven't logged on since they sold 23andMe. Let me see if things have changed.
Welcome back. Please give us more information. While you do that, Electric asked me if I'm happy. I always like to put it like this. I live at about 98% happiness all the time. And the reason is because a long time ago, I asked myself that question. And I was like, if I was 80 years old and I look back on my life, what would I have wanted to have done with it? And that was around the time where I was trying to pick a major at school and college when I was roommates with Scrota.
Hey.
And yeah, so that's when I first decided to switch out of engineering and explore what I was going to do with my life. I think I have found an answer that is similar to the things that you all said, in that my happiness doesn't cost a lot, and it doesn't take a lot for me to be there. And it really doesn't take a lot to push me to 100% happiness, man. Every time I'm eating and watching like a show that I like, I'm there. And now that I have done so many of the things that were on my checklist of life, getting married, having kids, buying the house that we wanted, having the job that I want, making the salary that I want, all those things, I would say the only thing that I didn't expect is what has now come from being in what I say I'm in my happily ever after. And the only thing that I'd never expected was the anxiety of having reached that happily ever after now worrying about it getting taken away. And so I've worked so hard to get there, maintaining it, and even just hypotheticals like, oh, somebody breaking in or something bad happening to the kids or all those things now start to be the thing that keeps me from being at 100% all the time. So I'm at 98% in any of those little moments where I forget about, this thing could happen to the kids, or are the only things that are keeping me from being at 100% perpetually. But the actual monetary value of happiness, it didn't cost a lot. And same thing, like Scrota said, before I had the wife and kids, I was already there, but at a different level. Back when I was a broke musician, I was happy. I was broke. I was happy. But I could watch the entirety of Seinfeld between writing songs. All I had to do was go to my gigs and I'd have my rent covered. But I was still in that contentment because I was quote unquote, I never had that feeling of, oh man, I'm in this career that I went to college for, but then what if I had done what if I had pursued this dream of mine? It was like, no, I was pursuing the dream and I found the realities of what that is. It's, this industry, the reason I'm so able to talk about music is because I was in it. And I saw, it's not about talent anymore. It's more about marketing and like this, that, and the third. And okay, cool. I see what this is. And so now I can't have a midlife crisis of, man, what if I had pursued music? It's like, no, I went for it. So we're done with that. So I didn't have any regrets about giving up music or going to get my MBA or whatnot like that. It was just a different choice, a different transition. And to that point, one of the things that I was telling Electrica is I like to look at each. Hey, I know it's been a while. I like to look at each decision as a new adventure. So I'm not the type to ride roller coasters and seek thrills because every day there are different thrills that happen, different adventures that happen of that day or of that week, or there's always something I'm looking forward to each week is, this is going to be awesome. I'm about to go on vacation. I'm going to have the great staycation of 2025. I've been looking forward to this all year.
Yeah.
I walk past my couch the way people walk past amusement parks. I'm like, man, I'm about to have a great time here. Yeah. So yeah, I'm happy.
That's great.
And to that point, I think that's one of the other things. You all have each hit on various philosophical aspects of what happiness is, and the great philosophers of time have described happiness in the way that you all have each described happiness. Congrats. Y'all are philosophers in and of yourselves. And I think the one that we've yet to hit on is finding joy and appreciating little things. So being able to look at the world with a fresh perspective, which is part of what people always talk about having kids and whatnot. I always remember the first time my first child saw a dog for the first time, because the way she looked at this creature was like, yo, are you seeing this? And she's like however many months old, looking at me, looking at the dog, looking back at me with a face that said, what's wrong with that kid? But I get it. She'd never seen a dog before. And like my amusement in her having this like experience for the first time is one of those things that it's so simple, but it sticks with me forever. I'll never forget that. And I think that's part of what happiness is finding that joy in the little things. And one of the things that you said, Scrota, is reminding yourself how far away you are from like true misery and how much you do have and can appreciate. Because each of you said, spending time with this family, that's your family. You have this family. You can make the time. So in theory, you're not very far from your happiness. Electric, you live 6 minutes from us, man. You can come over anytime.
Yeah. So
now we just have to get BronxNotorious to move down here too.
So I know we talked about like how much would it cost for us to be happy, which I think the question should have been rephrased as if you had everything, probably not rephrased. Putting a monetary amount is probably cool to do. After all your bills are taken care of, we spoke a little bit about what we would be doing. Now I'm wondering, like, say for instance, people in other countries that have fewer resources than we do out here. I only know what I see on social media and stuff, but people seem to be happier in other places where they have less stuff. And that's my question. Are people really happier in other countries with fewer materials, like fewer resources? You know, like people that don't have TVs in their homes, that they live in a very rural area. Are they much happier than the people over here that do have everything, that got to wake up and go to work every morning and go through traffic and everything else like that, and then got to worry about paying bills?
Man, so remember how I said
question.
Go ahead. Yeah,
No,
I mean, that's the point.
Yeah.
Wait, say that again. It didn't come through clearly, Edgar.
I got lost too. Were you saying that, Bronx?
That's a loaded question right there.
Full clip.
How is
I just came back from Nigeria. Yeah, go ahead.
I never understand that term when people say that's a loaded question.
Oh, it just means it sounds like there's an answer that you're expecting or wanting to hear.
Oh.
That's a begging the question.
Yeah, I am expecting to hear an answer, but I just don't know what the answer is because I haven't really been outside the country that much. Besides Puerto Rico.
I just came back from Nigeria, and I mean, that was one of the big things that we had the boys do. Like we're from the countryside in the Southeast, and very rural. And we're fortunate enough to have a house that has a 24-hour lights. Not everybody in Nigeria has 24-hour light and water. We do. But the power grid thing, it got hit by like a lightning bolt and jacked up the power inverter and like the solar panels and stuff. So we actually didn't have 24-hour lights. And so we had a generator. You crank the generator on, it puts everything on for a certain amount of time, but we only have a limited amount of fuel we can have. So my boys were there and they were like, yo, why isn't the fan on? Why can't we plug stuff in? So, we explained to them, like, yo, I told you we had 24-hour light, but we actually don't. So they had to go through most of the day without light, which is not a big deal. But that first day, man, they were awful. They were, this is stupid. I remember when I went to Nigeria for the first time in 1998, I was doing the same thing to my dad. Said he did all this stuff to get us out there, but we are over here spoiled and not even like realizing what we have. And the first day that the next day, I realized I was being really nasty to my dad, who at the time, my parents, we didn't have a lot growing up. So get all them kids to Nigeria. I'm feeling it now, and we got money. I had told my boys that the first day. I was like, hey, man, in 1998, I was straight up asshole to my dad. And it stuck with me. And so I told him the rest of that trip, after you humble yourself and bring stuff back, that was one of the best trips I've ever had in my life in 1998. So I told the boys that they have to look at things like that. And to their credit, they did. They was in the bushes. They was climbing trees, picking fruits. They was doing all sorts of stuff because we don't need things. We don't need things to achieve that happiness. And they learned that out there. We went to the city in Nigeria and we was in air-conditioned streets and all this other stuff. And went to the village and it was shirts off, mosquitoes and stuff like that. But as soon as we came back, they forgot. So I was like, damn. Now, how do I instill this humility? Boy, it's supposed to stay with you for 2 weeks before it starts waning, but that shit went away immediately. But yeah, I think other people are, because it's not like everybody in countries that are like less well off, like economically and GDP wise. It's not like everybody's just miserable there. But even the people who are in abject poverty, which I think most of us have been under the poverty line at some point in our life, we were still happy. We still found happiness in that environment.
Yeah. Just give the boys a machete. They'll be all right.
Give them a machete. They was going at it.
So I think that kind of leads into the whole, money can't buy happiness motif of, you hear it in movies, you hear it in songs, you hear people say it like, and I remember every time I heard that, I'd be like, shoot, all my problems can be solved with money. And I think that comes from when you don't have money, you are very apt, not necessarily forced to, but you are apt to learn how to appreciate the life without money. And so the only things that, are keeping you from being just fully happy are things that money could solve.
So it's like a coping mechanism?
No, it's because you ain't got nothing else to do. Yeah, like you ain't got nothing else to do. You ain't got money, so it's not like you can buy or go or do all of these things that usually cost money here. So you learn how to be content without it.
I just want to point out,
really have the opportunity. Go ahead.
That's the point that I made, and you said no, and made the opposite point in a previous episode. But anyway, no, it's the opposite.
I was just saying I won't put a cap on the money.
No, you were saying that's what rich people say, so they don't feel bad about being rich.
Oh, that wasn't me. That was you. You said that.
Okay.
All
right.
Damn.
Hey, everybody, go back and listen to that episode and see who said that's what rich people say.
Okay.
Because
okay,
I've always felt and still believe all my problems could be solved.
Yeah, triple down. I love it. Keep going.
All your problems could be solved by money.
I would quadruple down on that.
So
I told you, I'm happy.
What if your problem is having too much money?
Yeah, that's like right now, you said it brought anxiety, right?
That is the only thing I'm starting to get to is, I don't want to have enough to be a target.
I always believe that the richest people probably feel the worst, because I noticed once I started making some good money, I started having different conversations, and probably those conversations with the wrong people. And I didn't feel good about it afterward. That was one thing. Those conversations were like, oh, like I'm making this, I plan on doing this, and plan on doing that. And I learned you can't be talking like that with everyone. Not everybody got you in their best interests. And then that's one thing that I thought about, like how rich people must feel when that they can't talk to everybody. So I thought to myself, damn, that must be lonely. Then another thing was, I realized how quickly you can run out of that really good feeling of making so much once you have everything you want. Right? So
dopamine hit.
I quickly bought everything I've ever wanted, and then I'm like, now what? And the things I've ever wanted, they're not super expensive things. Like my car is not a super expensive car. It's a good car, but I could have gone bigger, and I didn't. I was like, no, this is good enough. I'm happy with this. And I'm glad I didn't, because right now I'd be like, damn, why am I paying all this money? The dopamine hit would have been gone, and right now I would have had the pre-nut, what is that called?
Post-nut clarity.
I would have the
PNC.
post-nut clarity right now and be like, damn, I'm paying this much for this car. Damn, I should have never done that. So I'm glad I never did that. But I have all the small things I want. I have my.
That's why you got to beat off before purchases.
Yeah. So I always think to myself, I'm like, when these rich people are just constantly buying the shit that they want, like it gets fucking old, and it seems like they're chasing a high that they'll never be able to catch.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I think about them and I'm like, they must not feel good inside. Like we see everything they do on social media, but like behind closed doors, I really wonder how horrible these people must feel. And not about themselves, just how they feel. I think nobody's immune from feeling ungood.
No. Will Smith just had a whole thing about, he was saying, people always talk about hitting rock bottom, but he
hit rock top.
Yeah, he said he hit the peak. And he was like, it's that feeling of you've bought everything that you wanted to buy. You've won all the awards, and now what? And I think I might have talked about this on the last episode, but that's that same thing of, it's a different type of depression because you've finished and now you have to figure out what you're going to do to give yourself meaning, to find a reason to go on now that you've quote unquote won the race.
You think that's tied to how we define meaning? You think happiness is tied to meaning?
Do I think happiness is tied to meaning? No. Because I know for my own self, and I'm just taking myself as my own sample of one, everything that I want to do that would bring me happiness has no meaning. Yes. For instance, when I'm going on this vacation, I am doing nothing. And if I could do that same amount of nothing every day, all day, forever, I would still be happy. Would I do additional things just to, oh, this makes me feel good about the world? Sure. But it wouldn't be the core thing of me being happy. It would just be a side effect of me being a happy person. Oh, I bought something for a friend that blah, blah, blah. Oh, I donated to charity. Oh, I cleaned up this park because I saw trash on the ground. I'm happy. I do those kind of things. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't seek the validation in the meaning behind it. It's kind of like how some people give to charity because the altruism is a bit false. They give because it makes them feel like that is justice, that is the right thing to do, and thus it validates how they view the world as opposed to just doing it to do it. They could do
regular
it,
people.
Yeah, the average person.
Not billionaires. They're doing it for another reason. But go ahead.
Yeah, billionaires do it for the tax write-off. But to that point, that they get something in return. So is it possible to be altruistic? Is it possible to give without expecting anything in return, even if that thing you get in return is the satisfaction of knowing you did something good? So could you give without knowing it meant anything, did anything? And if so, would you still do it? So that's a whole nother side topic.
Yeah, I think by
y'all want to answer
definition,
that?
no.
Exactly.
By definition, because you're doing something. That's the only reason we do anything is for something. No one does anything. I see it like Tourette's. No one does anything like without a reason. You know what I mean?
I disagree with that.
Right. You could even say Tourette's was the reason.
There you go.
Jason, you say you disagree?
Yeah. You're saying like nobody does something for other people for no reason?
Every time you give something, there's a reason why you did it. There's no one gives something to someone for no reason. If I give you a hug because I love you, I'm doing that to express my love or to make you feel good or because you needed that day. That's why I did it.
Okay, so philosophically, yes, you're right. All right.
Yeah. Like it's hard to escape. Like legit, I've given stuff away and people have been appreciative of me giving, but legit it was I don't want this.
You're like, damn, I feel good about it.
I feel good that it's not in my hands anymore. Thank you for taking it off literally taking it off my hands for me. Thank you.
What's the happiest, Edgar, everybody's had like the happiest moment that they've been. What's the closest to the peak that you've been at?
Happiest for me.
The closest to that peak. Like this time, that was the happiest I've ever been.
Happiness for me it was basically not being lonely anymore. Not being sad because I was alone. Because I grew up most as the only child. So I had
only
that.
Children.
I had that only child syndrome. Like I was quiet and alone a lot. I spent a lot of alone time. So I remember getting a girlfriend and having somebody, and those are my happiest moments is sharing experiences with people that I really love, my wife and ex-girlfriends and shit like that. Moments when I wasn't alone and when I wasn't lonely and shit like that. I don't feel sad because I know I got my wife, you know what I'm saying? But I know if I didn't have her, I know that loneliness would be knocking at my door like, hey, what's up? Remember me? And I struggle a lot. I struggle a lot with that because I feel like, look, I got my friends. I have you guys, but I don't have a lot of, I don't really have a lot of friends. I don't have a lot of friends. You know what I'm saying? I have one or two people. So sometimes when I do get down, I'm just that's when I hit up a Jason or I hit up Brent, yo, what's up? What y'all doing? But happiness for me is definitely marrying my wife. When I married my wife and I was just the next day I didn't feel that Christian guilt because I was sinning Living a
Nice.
life. Yeah.
It is awesome.
One thing I
So I-
remember about you in regards to that is we took a trip to Puerto Rico and like you were always on your phone with your wife. And somebody made a comment like, "Yo, get off the phone, bro. You've been on the phone all day with her. Come on." And then you were like, "Nah, I love talking to my wife."
Are you a wife guy?
You.
I'm not a wife guy. I just love my wife. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like,
It was so genuine
I
though. He's
mean,
yo, I love talking to my wife, bro.
that's the point.
Exactly.
I think, a good marriage is somebody that, somebody that you consider your best friend, man. And that's my best friend. That's my homie.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man.
Like,
If I married somebody and I was like, "You're still here,"
Yeah.
I would be like, "Man, I messed
If you're a
up."
wife guy, then you're a wife guy, man. That's what's up.
His wife is cute. It helps.
And she
She's
got a
dope.
super dope personality too.
She's dope.
Yeah,
She's dope.
exactly.
Like, I knew
Yeah,
instantly.
she's awesome.
When I met her, I knew instantly. I was like, oh, this is real. This is serious. This is not just another girl. You know what I'm saying? I knew immediately. I was like, yeah, this got some potential here.
Yep.
What's up?
I remember when I first met his wife, she didn't like me at all. And after some time, we became like really good friends, more like brothers and sisters. So it's funny how the dynamic of like relationships and friendships can change over time once people give each other a chance and get to know each
A
other.
chance. Yeah. What about
you're a good looking dude. Girls are gonna be like a little hesitant to be friends with a really good looking dude because they have
shady?
Hey, you know what I'm saying? They was like afraid of you at Polly.
Awesome.
Yeah.
She's here
What
right
a-
now. Yeah, we're talking about Jason. Yeah.
Sounds like
What
the next
what
guest
was
on this
your
should be his wife.
what was your peak, Jason? Electric. Peak happiness.
Peak happiness.
Yeah. Bronx described more of a feeling than a moment. You can take it either way. Feeling, moment. What's peak happiness for Electric Thunder? Or what has been?
I don't know. I guess
Still to
spurts of
come.
happiness. It's almost like a hit of a drug. Like when I'm with my friends and I'm having a good time with them, I'm laughing. And you guys don't hear it on the show, but I'm actually really loud and I'm always cracking up. But yeah, it's like those moments when I'm with my friends. Yeah, I think those are my peak happiness moments, and I have a lot of them.
My peak happiness has really just been at home with the family. There are times where I'm watching something, both kids hop on me, and so we're all watching something, and I'm just marveling at my life, knowing that I also was an only child, and I always used to imagine what it would be like to be a dad and curled up on the couch with my kids watching a movie, and now I'm doing it, and it's awesome. So, yeah.
Yeah.
And those moments just hanging out with my wife. Every day, me and my wife eat lunch together. We watch a game show, 25 Words or Less. We eat lunch. We play along to the game. And highlight of my day easily. Yeah, I completely understand him being a wife guy. And all of you saying spending time with the people that you enjoy. I don't like going out. Y'all know this. I am classically a hermit. I love when y'all come over. I love meeting up with Electric. I love meeting up with Scroller. I love hanging out with BronxNotorious. My favorite thing to do in New York City was to go to his house. BronxNotorious would have us over all the time, and it was the only outing that I was looking for.
You went somewhere and liked it?
Yeah, his house.
Yeah.
So I went from my place to inside his house.
That's
His
crazy.
place was the hub. That's where everyone would meet up at.
That's because my wife is a vortex. She has this vibe that just sucks you in, and when you're here, this is your house. This is do what you want and have a good time. And it's a good vibe.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say peak happiness is those moments. And then with this coming up vacation.
I think for me, I was
We're
gonna
go see a movie.
I was gonna answer like a specific time, And honestly, it was probably the birth of my kids, to be honest. That's the classic answer. But Bronx made me rethink about it. And it's like, what if you could summarize those things? There's a moment like when my son was born, my wife, she had a C-section, so she was out of it. And I was with the kid and she was still asleep. And it wasn't like, I felt like this sense of incompleteness. And when she finally woke up, my son wasn't there because he was in the NICU and he had some issues. So I was bouncing back between my wife's room when she was recovering and my son's room when he was like getting treated and stuff like that. And it wasn't until they wheeled him in and she saw him, and all three of us were at the same place, conscious at the same time, that I felt like everything at once. And like when I brought my family back to my dad's house, like their ancestral home in Nigeria, anytime these peak moments where I'm like, this is why I'm here, and it usually involves getting my family to do something, like some kind of like huge accomplishment that's like family oriented. When my family finally slept the first night in the home in Houston after we moved to California, it's those moments that like always stand out, because those are the moments where I can actually be like, I'm always happy and content, but I don't want any more than I want, not even $1 more than what I have at this very second. I think those are the moments for me.
I would say the feeling I had, and this is going to go to all y'all, and then I'm going to ask you one more kind of less necessarily important question just because I'm curious. But
way to sell it, bro.
We got to end on a fun note. Yeah, man. My mom passed away.
I condole.
One of the last things. Oh yeah, sorry. Mom passed away. One of the last things that we did before she passed, I didn't know that it was going to be that, but growing up, my mom used to drive us around the city and we would look at these houses, and she would always like make plans for us to have it one day and what we were going to do when we had it. So getting to bring mom to the house and see that, we made it.
Oof.
Oh my gosh. Having her hang out with the kids and like my daughter being like, oh, she gives the best hugs. What peak could surpass those moments? And so I look forward to, part of the reason I work out is because one day I want to walk baby girl down the aisle. I look forward to seeing their lives. So the thing that I would say keeps me from being ever in that depression would be the things that we continue to look forward to and having things to look forward to. So for me, it's those things. And also, Scrota, to your point, I love learning. So I'm learning Spanish right now. I'm going to take your AI course. I have a list of things that are still on my to-do list. They're not all like monumental things. Some things are just silly. I want to learn how to take care of my yard. But all these things are things that I look forward to, and I wouldn't necessarily they give meaning, but they are little dopamine hits, which kind of goes to what Electric was saying, is having these little things that give you the dopamine hit. Even though they're not necessarily buying something, they still are habitual happiness shots. Shots. So that does lead me to my next question. And unless y'all want to say what y'all goalposts are. But if y'all don't, then I want to know, what are your current dopamine hits? Like, for instance, one of mine is watching 25 Words or Less with the Missus every day. Playing video games with y'all is one of my other dopamine hits. What are y'all into? Spread the joy.
I think for me, like my wife, I be spending a lot of time with my wife these days, just because number one, the best time to do it is when I'm doing this podcast right now. But also because like I'm working later hours because I'm like working on a bunch of new projects that I have to do a lot of reading and a lot of like research and stuff on. She'd be going to sleep real early. So sometimes in the morning, like when I actually do wake up, or sometimes when I do catch her, just sitting down and just talking. That's my best friend. I've known her since I was like 11 years old or something like that. So that's something that always brings me pleasure, even though I don't do it a lot. It's like legit one of my favorite things to do. And then anytime I can take interest in what my kids are doing and they genuinely know I'm interested in it, like I run Fortnite with them. And that's fun just because it gives them a chance for me to them to dunk on me and tell you how much I suck. And like we talk trash and a lot of the same stuff I get from my group. It's like we coordinate as a team, we work together when we like build stuff. Like anytime we do something as a group, that's what I'm into. So that's what I go to every once in a while, especially if I'm like feeling down. I say, let me just go ahead and do these couple things real quick and it sets me back on the right track.
Yeah. Bronx, you haven't met his wife yet, but his wife is also awesome. A great way for you to do that is for you all to move down.
Visit.
And like, why you gotta go to
visit and look at the model homes?
Man, just come on down. Just visit real quick. Just visit.
Bro, first of all, we got like there's no way anybody could move right now.
Very true. Very true.
Yeah, I'll definitely visit you. I'll surprise you. I wouldn't even tell you. I'll just pop up one day like, yo, what up?
Hey.
Room is ready whenever you come down. And you'll get to see Electric. It'll be fun.
I have no doubt about that. I'm excited about that.
Yeah. So,
I haven't heard from Jason.
Dopamine hits.
I was wanting to hear from Jason, but I don't know. He must be doing something.
My dopamine hits, I guess it's hitting the gym, cranking out the weights, and definitely playing Overwatch. Overwatch brings me a lot of joy. I love that game a lot. I remember my son told me once, he goes, man, I never see you so happy before. He goes, you get really happy when you play Overwatch. I'm like, I love this game. This game is great. And I love playing with him too. Even though he rages a lot and like sometimes I want to yell at him.
You mean rage?
Yeah.
Where does he get that from?
Yo, I really want to yell at him when he gets like that. I'm like, yo, calm down. Just have fun, man. But I remember probably about 10 years ago, I would rage in video games too. So I get it. He's not as bad as me. Yeah.
Yes, taking interest in that they're doing. That's what's up.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it's hitting the weights, playing some Overwatch, going rollerblading. Yeah, although rollerblading is not doing it for me anymore. I guess it's just too hot for me to skate, and I'm just like, nah. And my action figure collection. But I think I'm coming to an end with that. I think I have everything
lies and garbage.
I need. Yeah, it is lies and garbage. They'll drop someone that's not in my collection, and I'm like, oh, I really need them, and then I end up buying them. Yeah, that's it for me. It's just those things right now. Those are like my little dopamine hits.
Bronx,
Jason, I want to point out real quick. Yeah. Earlier we were talking about you looked at how many hours you played Overwatch. You're like, that's so embarrassing. I couldn't do it. But when you talk about that's linked to your happiness and your mental health, does that change how that time is looked at to you?
Ain't gonna do it with his son.
Exactly.
It does still. It's like I could be using that time more productively. And especially if we're winning, that time can freaking just go on and on. So like we get to a point when I play the game where if we are winning, I'll be like, yo, all right, this is the last game. And if we keep on winning, that last game could turn into an hour very easily. So yeah, it's bad.
It's not solely a bad thing, is my point.
Maybe you should learn to leave on a win.
I'm just having too much fun.
He's like, I can't do it.
He thought about it for a second. He was like, nah.
So Edgar, let us know, what are your dopamine hits now?
Lately it's been, I don't know, man. I don't even know how to explain it. I feel the world has been rewarding me with stuff. And I always think I'm an English major, and I'm always thinking literally, not literally, but my aunt randomly gave me this book. Like, she gave me The Alchemist. I don't know if you guys know about The Alchemist.
Yeah, I've read it before.
Yeah,
the DJ.
Yeah. So I've never heard of it, but I've never read it. And then my aunt, who I didn't even know could read, one day she just like, yo, here, take this. I was like, okay, this got to be a sign. And I read it, and I just started like paying attention to the signs in the world and stuff like that. So the world has been like hitting me off with a bunch of these dopamine hits. Like I had a lot of issues in high school, right? And I was bullied a lot, and I had a lot of issues graduating. and blah blah blah. And then randomly the word was like, all right, we want you to be the keynote speaker at a graduation for the high school that just recently happened. So it was, oh, all right, cool. And I got like closure. So that was like a huge thing for me.
What's up? That must have felt good.
Yeah.
It was like,
sorry, I said Camus, it was Coelho.
I went back, got to speak to the kids, to the teenagers, and I got to tell them my story. And I felt maybe one of them, if one changes their mind about life, that's great for me. I don't care. That's all I wanted. Other dopamine hits, besides hanging out with my wife, who's one of the funniest people I know, I've been playing chess with my son. This dude is ruthless. I'm excited about that and where he's going with that. And my daughter is just, she's like the spitting image of me, and she's definitely going down the entertainment route. She wants to be a singer, she wants to be an actor, and it just excites me to see them becoming their own people.
Yay.
That's like the politic, right? That's like the politic. All right, I'm gonna give you one for me. I've also been doing a lot of writing. And that's where that's where I get my dopamine from, like comedy writing like stories. My job is I'm a storyteller professionally, and I tell stories and write stories, and I help people tell their own stories. And I've been like putting my memoir together, and I have a really good
nice.
Like I could really go right now to somebody and be like, hey, here you go, I got a first draft of this book. And so I've been writing a lot, and I've been actually thinking about posting stuff on, what is this? Some thing that everybody's posting their writing on. So I'm gonna start posting stuff online. I've been writing for years, and nobody ever reads anything that I post because I don't post anything. So
that would make sense.
Yeah, I write it. I'm like, and then I'll show it to my wife, and she's like, "That's amazing. Why don't you share it with anybody?" I was like, whatever. I wrote it just to feel good.
Man. Mail a copy to the Library of Congress and then share it. Copyright it.
So like when you don't see me play video games, more than likely I'm writing.
Love it. I'm gonna wrap this up. Anybody have closing thoughts before I do that?
I do. So
Speak on
I just want to leave this with everyone and give everyone something to think about, right? Is happiness something we find, or is this something that we practice? And also, what would your life look like if you stopped chasing happiness and just started creating it? So that's just something to think about, try to get you through your day, and also try to shift your perspective on things. Because I think happiness is all about perspective, and that's something that I've been working on for a very long time. So yeah, I hope those words help anyone out there that might need it.
This has been the HLS podcast.
Can I just say you guys didn't step over many lines in this one? You guys were
Because we were talking about happiness.
How do you step across happiness lines, bro? Yo, fuck that. You're wrong, Brent. That don't make you happy.
Stop being a bitch and come on.
Look at this guy over here with his wife.
Step over those lines.
I hope that if anything, I was worried about like our excessive happiness being offensive to someone else.
Fuck them.
These guys over here all happy with shit.
Let them get their own podcast,
yo.
New York energy in the house.
For real.
Yo, the next time,
stoicism.
Next time you guys have me on, could we do something like jokey, make fun of each other, and habitually step.
Shit. Listen, if you come up with a topic that you want to present, we ain't gonna stop you, bro. Come through.
Exactly.
Suicide bombing and Red Dead Redemption. There you go.
Are we gonna Helldivers? Because I can do some of that. I got that portable hell bomb ready to go.
I don't want to have to edit all this out. Close this out, Brett.
All right. This has been the HLS podcast. Late to the party. To that point. Radical Teddy and Friends. Her latest seduction. Happiness, lovers, sidelines. I'm the Rebel Alliance.
I'm Scrotowola.
And this is Electric Thunder, along with special guest BronxNotorious. Thank you for joining the show with us.
And Bronx, tell them where they can find you at.
Yeah, drop your ads.
Awesome. You can find me on Instagram at EGGIE79 on Instagram, or you could follow me on edgarruizjr.com. That's where I put most of my writings and everything I do outside of podcasting. I've also have a few, I don't know if you guys want to put that, but I've hosted a few Moth podcasts as well. So if you want to check those out, I have them on my website.
For those who don't know what a Moth is, can you drop that?
The Moth is a not-for-profit story organization. We do show. We have oh my God, this is terrible. We have a radio program on NPR that basically tells stories. We put stories out into the world. We have slams and showcases around the entire world, actually, where people go and tell stories. And yeah, we have a radio program and a podcast that showcases these stories. I've been a part of it for 4 years now. I've hosted the Star Wars episode, and I did a really special episode with Ear Hustle, which is an amazing podcast that's made inside of a prison.
Oh,
shit. Ooh.
Yeah, you can go on my website. Oh yeah, we definitely need to have a Star Wars episode. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you guys having me on. I didn't know this was going to happen tonight, and it was amazing. Thank you guys for giving me the opportunity.
Thanks for jumping in, bro.
Yeah, man. All right, take us out.
You just did. Like twice.
All right.